Hey class, my integrated math 2 class. Mr. Wee here with a 1-8. I'm just going to go over a problem for guided practice number 4. This type of problem right here. What are the solutions for 18x cubed is equal to 50x? The key difference between any problem that you've had before where it just asks you to factor is asking you for solutions. And not only that, you see the equal sign there in this type of problem. If you notice like some other problems, like let's see, like for here, if they say factor out each polynomial. I mean, like initially when they first ask, they don't give you an equal sign. I mean, you start making equal signs to kind of factor stuff out, but realistically when they ask, it just asks you to factor, right? It's not asking you to solve for anything. The difference in this question is that it does ask you to solve. What are the solutions, okay? And then look, as soon as they do that, they give you 0 is equal to x squared minus, or is equal to x squared minus 9 over 16. So we're going to go over this one right here. 18x cubed is equal to 50x. You're going to set this equal to 0, okay? So here's how I would do the problem. So what is it? It's a 18x cubed equal to about 50x. Okay, and then after that, what you're going to do is you want to set it equal to 0, meaning that what I like to do is I like to keep anything with exponents to the highest degree. You see how it's x to the third? That's the highest degree. I'm going to keep this over here on this side. I'm just going to move everything over to the side where the guy with the highest degree variable is. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 50x from both sides. Okay, and then now I'm left with 18x cubed minus 50x is equal to 0, right? Now, before you do anything, usually, if you haven't noticed, everything that we kind of factor out, always we only deal with stuff that has like an x squared at the end, or like at the beginning. This kind of has an x cubed here. I don't expect you to do anything with this yet, or like in terms of factoring. So the next question I have to ask is, can I just factor out anything out of both of these guys? The question is yes. First, I can factor out, I know that 18 and 50 can both be divided by 2, so I'm going to factor out 2, and as well as that, they both have an x in there, so I'm going to factor out 2 and x. So what I mean by factoring out is I'm going to write 2x outside of the parentheses in here, and then when I factor out 2x out of 18x cubed, I'm going to have 9x squared left over, okay? And then when I factor out 2x out of like minus 50x, that's going to be 25. It's going to be minus 25. It's got to keep the minus sign. Okay, no more x because you factored out the x. I'm going to set that equal to 0, right? Now, the 2x is pretty much going to be done. You're always going to rewrite 2x every time you rewrite this problem. The only problem is, look, what do you notice here? Actually, let's not do this yet. What do you notice about these two numbers here? Okay, for one, they're perfect squares, meaning this. The square root of this would be 3x. Meaning if I squared 3x, I would get 9x cubed, or 9x squared, okay? Same with 25. It is 5 squared. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because it's a difference. It's a minus. So remember on 1-8, you're learning about the difference of squares, okay? If the two numbers in here, okay, there's no like middle number in here with just x in here, with x to the first power, we have an x squared and we just have like a constant 25. And it's a difference in here, then you know that this is a difference of squares, okay? So I'm going to rewrite this as 2 times, and then like in another parentheses, 3x plus 5 times 3x minus 5 is equal to 0, okay? All right, the next step right now is, oh, I'm sorry, it's 2x, by the way. Okay, so the next step here now is to figure out which values are x going to be in order for this whole thing to equal 0. Remember, I'm setting it equal to 0, meaning I want to find the solutions for x that will make this whole thing on the left-hand side equal to 0. Okay, that's the goal. All right, so out here, the number out here is going to be just 0, because 2x, you're not subtracting anything. So this x right here is going to be equal to 0. Meaning this, if I plugged in 0 for every x in here, then the whole thing is going to be equal to 0. I can only do it with the one on the outside, okay? For this statement here, I'm going to focus on just this term that's in this parentheses. What x value do I have to set equal in there to where this becomes 0. Thus, everything else multiplied around it is just going to be equal to 0. Anything multiplied to 0 is 0, right? So this over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set 3x is equal to, 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. I'm going to set just this term equal up to 0. And then I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. Okay. It's going to be 3x is equal to negative 5. And I'm going to divide both sides by 3 to get rid of the 3 in front of the x. Okay, and I'm going to have x is equal to negative 5 over 3. So that's another solution. So basically, if I plugged in x equals negative 5 over 3 for every x out here, for every x in here, negative 5 over 3 out here won't make that a 0. Negative 5 over 3 in here won't make this a 0. It won't. But negative 5 over 3, I put it in here, in this x in here, this is going to be equal to 0. And it doesn't matter what the other two terms are going to be. As soon as they have to multiply to this term in parentheses with when you plug in this number, everything's going to be 0. Okay? So one more. I got to focus on this term. Any other value for x that can make this whole thing on the left equal to 0. So instead, I'm going to put 3x minus 5 is equal to 0. I'm going to add 5 to both sides, okay, to kind of cancel out the minus 5. Then you have 3x is going to be equal to positive 5. Divide both sides by 3. And then x is going to be equal to 5 over 3, okay? Then the difference is this was negative 5 over 3. This is positive 5 over 3, okay? Again, if I plug in 5 over 3 in here, that's not going to be 0. If I plugged in positive 5 over 3 in here, this actually won't be 0. But if I plug in 5 over 3 into here, this will become 0, thus making everything on here equal to 0, which is what I want, okay? That's a thumbs up. Okay, so your answer should be x. You have 3 different solutions. X can be 0, or negative 5 over 3, or 5 over 3, meaning all these 3 numbers, if you plug in any of them, you will get a y value of 0. Remember, this whole thing is equal to y. Okay, we just want to see what the x's would be if y was equal to 0. Okay. All right, guys, if you have any questions, just let me know. All right. Have a good day. Bye.